morning. Welcome to Mornings with Marva, where authenticity lives and thrives to create a space of growth, healing, and joy. I am your host, Andrea Lawful Sanders, and each day we will cover the topics that are informative and engaging while learning from each other. Good morning to each and every one of you. Before I do my morning motivation, I literally have someone on live from Jamaica in the middle of this hurricane that is supposed to hit the island by 8 a.m. this morning. Winsome James, who is someone I know from Team Jamaica Bickle and then learned that she and I attended the same church, is now currently on the island. And I talked to her last night and she said she would let me know what's going on. Winsome, good morning. Are you there?
Good morning. Yes, I'm here.
All right. So the first thing I want to ask you is, how are you doing? Before we talk about the storm, how is your nervous system? How are you feeling? What brought you to Jamaica? All of that.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Actually, this was a short trip I had planned for Jamaica. I'm here because my school, my high school, Montalvernia High School, is celebrating their 100-year centennial anniversary, and I decided to run to Jamaica for a few days. My goal was to be here for 3 days. I came in on Thursday, and the plan was to leave on Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
And on Saturday afternoon, I got a message from my airlines that my flight was canceled.
Okay. Are you safe right now?
And
Where are you staying right now? Are you safe?
I'm safe. I'm very safe. I'm at the resort. It's called Deja Resort. It's on Bottom Road. It was originally Gloucester Shore Hotel, and so I feel very safe. The staff has been good. Everything is going well. I'm just a tiny bit nervous, but it's all good. I've been up since around 1:30 this morning because that's when the heavy rain and wind started.
Right. I had been on the WhatsApp with my sister until 1 this morning, so I feel like I'm half asleep. But she sent us videos from her house camera, and the wind was rushing. Now, she is in Mandeville, which is to the middle northwest of the country, right? And she says it's vicious. It's just vicious. She's trying to figure out, how are they going to be okay? Because she said this is definitely going to change the scope of what the island looks and feels like. So, talk to me a little bit about what is happening now in terms of where on the island are you? In the western side of the island? Are you in the
I'm on the west. I'm in Montego Bay, so I'm on the
oh,
western side.
okay. So you're going to
I'm in
feel
Montego Bay, right
yeah.
in the heart. I'm 10 minutes away from the airport. If you wanted to get a feel of where I am, so I'm around 10 minutes away from the airport. I'm literally in front of Dr. Skate Beach. That's
Yes.
where the hotel is. So we're getting where we are. I could hear it's still dark outside, but you could hear the wind and the rain. It's really pounding here.
And so she shifted and is heading towards you, correct? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're all aware.
Okay, so what is the feeling now in Jamaica with the folks that are around you? What are people saying? What are they expecting? Are they telling you exactly how much storm surge to expect? All of that, or are you just kind of waiting around?
We're actually just waiting around. The facility have sent out information. It was so calm here up until around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. There was no rain. The sun was out. It was overcast, but it was calm. Everything was good until around 5 o'clock. It started to drizzle, and from then the rain just started coming down heavy and heavier. The facilities has asked us to stay in our room today. They're gonna bring her meals to her room, so we're not out. Because there's open areas at the resort, so they don't want us to be out there. They have protected the windows and places also at the hotel. But it's people are kind of nervous, and I think because it was so calm, we were comfortable. But now that it's hit, I'm waiting till breakfast and to see how everybody is going to be dealing with it now that it actually hit, because it was so calm and nice that we kind of like, is
Yeah.
it really coming? And
Yeah.
we have been waiting so long for this storm that we were like, is it really coming? But now that it's here, you could feel the force of it.
And Winsome, the brunt of it is not supposed it's not going to hit landfall until about 8 o'clock this morning, right? Which is about 7 o'clock your time. So it's
Okay,
coming. You're going to start to really feel it.
it's
Are
coming.
there plans
Yeah.
for you guys if something if it becomes overwhelming in the facility where you are? Did they give you any emergency contingency plans?
Basically, they asked us to stay in our room. The rooms are pretty secure, so they asked us to stay in our room. There's emergency generators here in case the electricity goes out. So far, last night for like 2 seconds, the lights dimmed a little bit, but that's all that really happened. So they're asking us to just basically bunker down in your room. If there's an emergency, they'll make an announcement. But if we have to, we could go to the higher levels in the hotel. So I think right now we're safe. They just asked us to be cooperative and just work with the team that they have here.
Yeah, yeah. I have. Are you in? Do you have family in Jamaica right now, other than yourself?
Yes, yeah, my mom is here. She's in St. Elizabeth, but I didn't want to tell her I'm actually here. The goal was to be in and out so quickly that I didn't tell my mom I was here. But my other sister is here. One of my other sisters is here, and my mom has a 24-hour nurse, and when I called her to tell her I was here and just checking on her, she said, "Don't tell her because she's gonna worry too much." And
Right.
she's in St. Elizabeth, and I heard the ice gonna hit in Black River, so I really don't want to worry her. So after this is over, I'll tell her I'm here. But my
Yeah.
mom is here, so I have a sister here. I still have extended family here. But
Yeah.
on the whole, and there's a lot of my sisters from my school. There was over 400 of us that was here for the centennial anniversary. So there's a lot of us in the country that's
Okay.
unable to leave to go to different places in the U.S. or in Canada right now.
Yeah. Have you experienced a hurricane on the island yet? Is this your first time, or have you been in an?
This is my first time. I migrated to the U.S. in 1981 when I graduated high school. So I have never ever. This is my first time
Okay.
experiencing an hurricane or storm like this
Okay.
magnitude. So
Okay.
it's God's work. So I just have to say you accept what God's doing and you just go along with it
Mm-hmm. Uh,
and you just keep prayed up.
can I may I give you a little bit of advice for someone who has lived through several hurricanes?
Yes.
Stay away from the windows. Um, this
Got
is
you.
this is the strongest hurricane ever on record to hit the island. So I don't even know what the power of it is going to be, except it's going to be really strong. When I was talking to my sister via WhatsApp last
Okay.
night, she said the wind. They're so concerned. At some point last night, so they're up in the hills in Mandeville. She said at some point yesterday
Mhm.
afternoon, the wind was taking a tree out from the root. And I heard her husband. She did a video. I heard her husband say
Mhm.
the storm isn't even here yet. So with the velocity of the wind, which is why I asked you if they had a contingency plan, with the velocity of the wind, you will see cars flying in the air. You will see houses and
Mhm.
roofs uprooted. So this is why I say stay away from the window. Now you may be in a better space than a lot of people because these resorts are built to withstand this kind of battering. But for the
Yes.
rest of the people in the interior of the island, your mother, my sister, my family members that are all there, the concern is huge, right? And so, since you have
Yeah.
access and you still have access to a phone, if you don't mind, because I haven't heard from my sister since 3 o'clock this morning, if you don't mind, I'm going to continue to stay in touch with you to, so we can have a live update, not on the air, but just you and I talking about what needs to be done.
Please.
And Winsome,
Okay. Great.
as you see the stuff happening, start to make notes of what are we going to need. Is it batteries? Is it chainsaw? What are we going to need to send to the island since you're there and can give a first-hand account? Right? Is that okay?
That would be one. I sure will. I will definitely start venturing. just see what's happening around me. I know earlier the roads here were almost they were desolate. There was no cars going back and forth. So we'll see. Because again, being on the resort, you don't get to see what's happening inside the city and as much around you. Only what's happening here on site. So, but I'll keep an eye out, and I could. My TV is still working, so I'll keep my eye on the television also.
Thank you. And when it's safe to go outside, please take some video and send it my way so that I can see what's happening. For your appraisal, the Team Jamaica Bickle and Chris Chaplin from the Council, Jamaica Council, they've all pulled together. So there is now on my page a link for people to donate for what's going on there. I want to thank you so much for calling.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. We will keep in touch.
Oh my God, girl. And just be as safe as you possibly can. Okay. I am praying. We are working on this end in Philadelphia. We're working and donating and volunteering and all the things. So when you come back, you can give us a first a hand account. Monica Adams says, I heard that people are putting mattresses up to the windows. They're doing everything. That wind is incredibly vicious.
Yeah.
It's vicious, and folks are not sure. So 3 people have died already preparing for the storm itself, right? Trees fell on 2 people and 1 was electrocuted. So that's just preparing for the storm. I am intrigued to find out what happened to the people in Port Royal, which is over on the southeastern tip of the island. It was supposed to hit there, but the storm surge, when the eye turns winsome, the storm surge is going to hit them hard, right? And so as of 2 hours ago, they said that there was a heated water spout that went right up in the air and came back down. The thing is still gaining strength. So I want you to stay as safe as you possibly can. You are safer in the lower floors, right? So it's as it starts to things start to shift and shake. If you feel the building shaking, if you feel the windows moving, go down to the floor, the lowest floor that you can, and stay as safe as you can. Okay?
We will. Yes.
Love you,
my
sister.
All that you guys are doing.
You're welcome.
We
love you.
Thank you for all that you're doing and keeping us all abreast of what's going on.
All right. Thank you, my darling. And if you can't get it there, because things are down, I'll most definitely share with you what we see from the news here. Okay?
Okay, great.
All right. Love you, my darling. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Yo. So after I spent, transparently, I've been talking to a friend of mine who is in Philadelphia, and she didn't sleep at all. I'm not sleeping. So after I spent all morning just trying to figure out, my house is sparkling clean. I have purged everything I could purge. I was throwing out everything. Just my brain was going a mile a minute. Couldn't figure out if I wanted to do anything other than just, and then I called Chris Chaplin, who is the Jamaican Council General here in Philadelphia. And I said, what are we doing? And people started sending me money. Thank you so much. So I was waiting for the link. I sent the monies that people sent me over to them yesterday. When I got the link, I donated. I've been storing canned goods here for an eventual emergency here in the United States. I'm going to pack quite a bit of that and donate that so that they'll have food to eat. The wind, I have to tell you, when my sister sent me the videos from her home camera, I said, that sounds like a tornado. She says, we've never had tornadoes in Jamaica in a hurricane. I don't know if that's going to be, it sounded like a freight train going through. And so the good news, if there is any, is that it will make landfall where they can see in daylight what's going on. They were afraid that it would happen overnight in the middle of the night. But this girl she keeps slowing down and she keeps gaining strength. And the more she slows down, the more strength she gains. And here's the deal. For the next 3 days, she will be wallowing over the island, dumping 30 to 41 inches of rain. So the landslides, the lightning strikes, everything. They're saying that the trees are going to be sheared bare, that things are going to be flying. I have seen it. I've seen cows flying when I was a child growing up. I saw roofs flying. And the thing about the hurricane is when the eye comes, it's the it gets deadly calm, just really, really still. And you look up and the sky is pink and orange, and all of that may have lasted for about 10 minutes. And then the hell, if you are right behind the eye wall, the hell that you catch after that is something nobody wants to be a part of. So I'm grateful that she was able to pick up the phone and call me this morning. She went to Jamaica for a class reunion, and got stuck there. Her agents called her on Sunday and said, all your flights are canceled. They couldn't get a flight out. She said there's 400 of them there, and so they're all over the place. If you know Winsome and you listen to this broadcast, please do not call her mother and tell her that she's in Jamaica. She really did not want to worry her mother. So that's the other part of it. I need you all to practice a little bit of decorum. Because parents will worry. And so sometimes we slip in and out. We go home and we slip in and out and don't tell them. And her mother is elderly. So I'm grateful that she was able to call in this morning and talk to me. As far as I know, my sister and families are still okay. Have not heard from her since 3 o'clock this morning. Matchsticks are holding in my eyes right now because it's just been really difficult. So I continue to pray, continue to figure out how we can support and do what needs to be done. There are fundraisers happening all around the country. Every state is doing their own thing. Right here in Philadelphia, I'm grateful to some of you. Some of you made me cry. You were just like, Marva, you've been donating money. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's unprecedented. We have never seen anything like this before. And so now the concern is that people stay safe and there will be the minimal loss of life if folks listen to the Jamaican government when they came and got them. Port Royal, which is right, when I say right on the sea, people go down there to get their fish and their bami and etc. They sent a bus down there to pick up the people and only one person left. So all those people are in mortal danger. And so we have to pray hard, right? When hurricanes come through an island, they last for a couple of hours and then they're gone. This one is so slow. They started talking about her last week, Thursday. They said she was coming by Saturday morning. Then they said she was coming Sunday morning. It is now Tuesday and she's just about to hit. That's how slowly she's moving. And when they sent the recon aircraft inside the hurricane, it was too dangerous for them and they had to come out. They said that had never happened before. So I am asking you, not only am I asking you to pray, but however you can support and donate. It doesn't have to be money. If you have canned goods, if you can volunteer, go look on my page. It is I believe it's the top post on my page. You will see places where you can go volunteer if you live right here in Philadelphia. So they're going to need people to separate the canned goods from the other things. There's a whole list there where you can donate and help. I cried yesterday until I couldn't cry anymore. My friends were calling me going, you okay? I'm not okay. Don't ask if I'm okay. But what we can do is figure out how to support and help the folks there. And so I am grateful. Thank you to those of you who are on this thing that have sent. My one friend was on her way to Japan and she said, before I leave here, I want to send you something. And she sent such a sizable donation. It brought me to tears, right? So I sent that over to the church, to the link to the church, and made sure that we can do what we need to do. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Now, I need to move on, but I will, throughout the day, continue to give you updates on on what is happening and what we can do, and we'll let you know. There also, my sister said there are newscasters from around the world in Jamaica right now. Why would anyone run into the middle of this thing? I don't know. But here we are, right? Carlene said Cheltenham High School is collecting items also. I saw that. And so wherever you can, many hands make light the work. Do what you can to help as much as you can. I'm very proud of the Team Jamaica Bickle and the Jamaican consul here, Chris Chaplin, who has always been an amazing stand-up guy, and the group of us that are around him. There was a meeting last night at 6:30. I couldn't join because my sister was calling at that moment, and there were a bunch of other things happening. So thank you all so much for hanging there. He also has another meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. At that point, the hurricane would have been on the island for about 12 or so hours, and we will start to get, what the issues are in terms of what the folks are going to need. I need you to also be aware that many of the houses in Jamaica, particularly closest to the water, like Portmore, the roofs are made of solid concrete. They're not concerned about their roofs coming off. What they're concerned about is the water surge. I saw a video, and I'll post that later on today, of the water. These houses, three of them, were up on an incline, and the water from the sea came up above the houses. And so those folks had to get the hell up out of there. That was yesterday, morning, afternoon, before the water surge hits. So we're really concerned about what's going to happen with all these people, and if and folks are making plans to go stay with this one and that one. If they have in Jamaica, a lot of the houses are single floors. They're ranchers. Some folks have built, and there's ranchers because when a hurricane comes, the higher up you are in terms of wind, etc., it causes an issue, right? So we don't have many of those in certain parts of the island, but wherever folks can go, if there's flooding, they can go up another floor. That would be helpful too. Think Hurricane Katrina, but worse. And you saw what Hurricane Katrina did. So I need us to, pray, 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 pray. She was supposed to hit the eastern end of the island. She shifted. So now she's going to hit Montego Bay and Negril, and in Westmoreland. So, there's good news there, but the entire island will be covered for days. Because of the scope and size of the hurricane, with just water dumping, dumping. So thank you all so much for that. Now, at 7 o'clock this morning, I'll have Felix Jones on, who I get on once a month. He talks about men's health. Today, he's going to talk about multiple sclerosis and the impacts of that. I'm grateful to him for showing up every month. I have a bunch of interviews coming, so much so that the show is going to go until 8 o'clock some mornings, between the after party and all the things that are going on. We just want to, Carlene, I don't know if you can meet me for the after party today, so you can talk to me a little bit about, because you're one of the leaders in the city that's doing the work here in terms of figuring out what we do and how we move. It's a lot, right? So if you want to join me for that, I'll send you the link so you can do that. Good morning, Sadie, Simone. I see your message. Your messages started coming in really late, darlings. I was 10 minutes into the broadcast before the messages started showing up. So I want to make sure, and listen, pray for Marvel today, because I'm on no sleep. Like no sleep, right? We're trying to figure this out. Thank you, Winetta. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. Good morning. Good morning, Bobby Carr. Yeah, so while I wait for Felix to show up, I'm going to try and cover a little bit of news other than Jamaica, as if that isn't, bad enough where we're going. Ah, Jesus. So as we are sitting here talking, it's making landfall, right? It's making landfall. So just continue to pray. Just continue to pray, please, and we can do whatever we can do. Okay. Even my mother-in-law sent me a message at 11 o'clock last night, going, "Are you guys okay?" I'm like, "No, this is not good. None of this is good." Uh, Marguerite says, "I lived on the island of Guam during a tsunami. I still have flashbacks of the water pouring down on us." Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. So let me cover some of the news. And if there's breaking news for the island of Jamaica, I will cut it and let you know. In the meantime, we'll just kind of hanker along. Let me and listen. If you've never lived through a hurricane, then this is just okay. Carlene just sent me a thing, said that there's a link to the various cameras around the country. I'm going to look at the link. She says Flatbridge. I expected Flatbridge to be covered. Carlene, I really did. I'm just really concerned about what's going on with people. I'm going to send you the link, Carlene, so you can join me at 7:30 if you are able to, so that we can talk a little bit from the Philadelphia perspective. I can't even get into my morning motivation today. Just y'all bear with me, okay? We're gonna figure this piece out. Let me get this link and send it to Carlene. Ah, Jesus. My husband looked at me this morning and said, "You have no idea how much I love you." And I'm so grateful in these trying times that we are together. Because he was like, I don't know. It feels like things are coming from every single angle. Every single angle. And we're trying to figure it out. So thank you for the link, Carlene. There's the link for Mornings with Marva. Join me at 7:30 if you can. Let me get to national and local news briefly until Felix chimes in. My hair is scattered to the wind, y'all. Forgive me because there was no sleep last night. The Trump administration posts notice that no federal food aid will go out November 1st. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has posted a notice on its website saying federal food aid will not go out on November 1st, raising the stakes for families nationwide as the government shutdown drags on. The new notice comes after the Trump administration said it would not tap roughly $5 billion in contingency funds to keep benefits through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly referred to as SNAP, flowing into December. That program helps about 1 in 8 Americans buy groceries. Bottom line, the well has run dry, the USDA notice says. At this time, there will be no benefits issued on November 1st. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats, so they're using this as a political pundit point. The shutdown, which began October 1st, is now the second longest on record. While the Republican administration took steps leading to the shutdown to ensure SNAP benefits were paid this month, the cutoff would expand the impact of the impasse to a wider swath of Americans and some of those most in need, unless a political resolution is found in just a few days. This was written by the AssociatedPressNews.com. Go check it out yourself, read and learn what's going on. The Cherry Hill Police Department in New Jersey says they are assisting the FBI in an active investigation on Monday. Officials said there is an increased police presence in the area around Walt Whitman Boulevard and Baldwin Road. The nature of the investigation is unclear at this time. Chopper 6 was overhead as a man was taken into custody. It's not yet known why police detained the man, and they said that there are no known threats to the public or to the nearby Horace Mann School at this time. This was written by 6abcnews.com. Did I tell you that Tamala Edwards, who would come on 6ABC early in the morning at this point, was moved aside for a younger person? Did I tell you that story? We will. I'll get back to that another time. Millions of Americans could soon find themselves without the ability to rely on food aid to supplement groceries come November because of the ongoing government shutdown. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, no supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits will be issued starting on November 1st, leaving many families throughout the Delaware Valley in need of resources. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services, more than 2 million people receive SNAP benefits in the state. Philadelphia County has the most people enrolled in the federal food aid program in comparison to any other county in Pennsylvania, according to DHS. Philabundance also offers a similar map on its website that can help people find a food pantry or food bank in their community. I'm working to get someone on who will tell us about their food bank that they have that, according to my friend, a lot of people aren't aware of. So I'm working to get her boss on so we can talk about that. You know, we're literally going to be doing that around the month of November as people are getting, hungry, food's not, readily available, and not to mention the workers, the federal workers, at the airports, etc., that have been working without a paycheck now for a full month. Folks have been donating food that they can pick up to take to their families. This is not good. That was written by CBSNews.com. There are still many questions. Multiple shooters suspected in Lincoln University shooting, FBI seeking photo and video evidence. There are still many questions surrounding the deadly mass shooting on the campus of Lincoln University. This weekend, one person was killed and 6 were wounded in the shooting Saturday night, and one person is in custody. Authorities don't believe it was a planned mass attack. Instead, they said it appears that gunfire broke out suddenly in the middle of the homecoming activities. It happened around 9:30 p.m. on Saturday outside the International Cultural Center during the homecoming celebrations following the school's football game. Speaking at a news conference Sunday evening, police said they believe more than one person fired shots during the incident. This was written by 6abc.com. Hurricane Melissa intensified into a Category 5 storm Monday. As it drew closer to Jamaica, I'm letting you know that it's there now. It is pulling ashore. And so where forecasters expected it to unleash catastrophic flooding, landslides, and widespread damage. At that strength, it would be the strongest hurricane to hit the island since record keeping began in 1851. Blamed for 6 deaths in the northern Caribbean as it headed toward the island, Melissa was on track to make landfall Tuesday today before coming ashore in Cuba later in the day and then heading toward the Bahamas. It is not expected to affect the United States. Anticipating the hardship in store for this country, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness said, I have been on my knees in prayer. Hannah McLeod, a 23-year-old hotel receptionist in the Jamaican capital of Kingston, said she boarded up the windows at her home where her husband and brother are staying. She stocked up on canned corned beef and mackerel and left candles and flashlights throughout the house. This was written by 6abc.com. Now you hear them saying this thing will be going off towards Cuba later in the day. It is so massive that it will stay over our island for 3 days. Um, and speaking of Melissa, Melissa underwent extreme rapid intensification over the weekend and continues to strengthen. The rare Category 5 have winds of 175 miles per hour with stronger gusts, making the strongest storm on the planet this year. Melissa's outer bands are lashing Jamaica with wind and rain. Mandatory evacuation orders have been issued for vulnerable coastal areas of Jamaica. Melissa has already killed 3 people in Haiti and 1 person in the Dominican Republic. Up to 40 inches of rain, 13 feet storm surge, and 160 miles sustained winds will cause extensive infrastructure damage that will cut off communities, the National Hurricane Center warned. This was written by CNN.com. President Trump has refused to rule out a third term, and that he got a perfect MRI at Walter Reed. Speaking with reporters on board Air Force One en route to Japan on Monday, President Donald Trump again refused to rule out a bid for a third presidential term, despite the 22nd Amendment limiting presidents to being elected twice. I would love to do it, Trump said when asked about the prospects of a 2028 presidential bid. I have my best numbers ever. It's very terrible. And on he went. This was written by abcnews.com. The country's largest federal union representing federal workers is calling for lawmakers to pass a short-term spending measure to end the government shutdown immediately, urging Democrats to abandon their current position and join Republicans in supporting a stopgap solution. You know, this is the part. It's going to be really interesting for so many people. I'm letting Felix in. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
You sound good. You look good. I like the haircut, my brother. You sharp as a tack out here in these recording streets.
Good morning, sister. Good morning to you.
Hold on one second. Let me answer this. Sadie wants to know. So Hurricane Gilbert was a Category 5 storm, but it landed in the country as a Category 4 and kind of glanced off of it. So it's nothing in comparison to what's happening with Melissa that's about to batter the island right now. So that answers your question. And Gilbert did not have those sustained winds like Melissa has right now. She is 175 miles per hour sustained, which means it's 175 miles per hour the entire time with wind gusts up to over 200 miles per hour. It is the strongest Category 5 storm on the planet right now. And so for that little island, which is only 95 miles long, we are in a pickle. We're literally in a pickle, and we need to pray and just think it through about what we're going to do and how we're going to support. And while that is happening in the Caribbean, we have all this stuff happening here in the country, in these United States of America, Felix, as you can see, where the people's SNAP benefits are cut off, folks don't have food, they're furloughed. The Democrats are saying if they accept this plan from the Republicans, our insurance premiums are going to double. So while folks are struggling right now, they're like, we're holding out because we want to make sure that you are okay in the long term. The Republicans won't do it. So they're waiting for the Democrats to capitulate. If they do not capitulate, there continues to be more suffering for the people, which then the Republicans put on the websites like the DHS department, that it's the Democrats' fault. I have all of what is going on right now is so unprecedented that I need us to find our small wins and joys where we can, because it is not going to be easy. Felix, as a brother, I am so appreciative of you. So appreciative of you for joining me this morning in the middle of this. I had someone on from Jamaica in the
Mhm.
middle of the storm this morning when I got on. So, I'm pivoting with you. Tamara Brooks said, and the waters are much warmer, I believe 5 degrees warmer since the 80s. Yo, the water is 90 degrees. Hot water spouts are going up inside the hurricane and coming down as searing heat. 90 degrees.
Wow.
90 degrees.
Wow.
Now you imagine standing up outside in 90-degree weather and
Mm.
imagine a storm holding that kind of heat. Child, let me just go on because Felix, we could talk till 7:30 about the storm, and I just can't today. My
Yeah.
brain is already shot. All right, so Felix Jones is a registered nurse at the Penn Rehabilitation Hospital and has been one for the past 18 years. In addition to being a nurse, he's a part of a nonprofit organization, Reclaim You, where he works to reclaim self-confidence and motivate communication through network events and productive cognitive behavior therapy sessions in the community. Felix, I just want you to know my father-in-law
Mm.
called me
Mm.
and said, I love that nurse. I like what he has to say. Tell him I need him to talk about this, 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 this. I was so shocked because my father-in-law, he listens. He hears a lot of opinions. He loves you and he loves David Alexander Jenkins because he likes what you have to impart. So,
Mhm.
um, um,
Thank
uh,
you. Thanks for that.
today, listen, no, thank you, because you started coming on with me a while ago on
Yeah.
another platform, and you
Yeah.
continue to stay.
Of
And
course.
we appreciate you here because there was a report put out. The Tribune covered it about the mental health of Black men. That the
Mm.
suicidal rates are going up. That their health issues are worse than others. And I firmly believe it's a direct result of all the trauma, the
Yes.
micro cuts, the little paper cuts, the
Yeah.
consistent, know your place, the consistent not getting paid properly, the
Yeah.
consistent being treated as second class citizens, on and on and on, right, in our
But
community, and
yeah.
that our brothers have been trained to not speak to the struggles that they feel because then they're considered soft. Know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I just brought it apart. So
I do agree.
let's talk about multiple sclerosis.
Yes.
What
Yes.
it is,
Yes. Yes.
because a dear friend of mine's brother was diagnosed with it a few years ago, and he was in his late 30s,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
man. And so it's something that I don't think we've touched on at all.
Right.
So tell me about multiple sclerosis. What is it? What are the symptoms? What causes it? All the things.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to give my prayers out to your homeland, the motherland of Jamaica. It's a very devastating thing that's going on over there. I hope and pray that this thing just take a drastic left turn, right turn down,
Left. We just want to
and
go left and
just
go on.
left, and let's just miss us all. I mean,
Mhm.
that island has been through enough as is over the past few centuries. So let's just, so prayers go out to them
Thank
and
you.
your family. I hope they're doing well and just and praying because prayer changes things.
Thank
But
you.
multiple sclerosis, it's a very debilitating disease. I'm so happy that you asked me to talk about this because this is something that is also near and dear to my heart. It's an autoimmune disease. Means that it fights against its own body. Okay, so what it does is it mistakenly attacks the myelin sheath. The myelin sheath is something that's wrapped around the nerve endings. So it mistakenly attacks its own myelin sheath, and that's the protective covering around the nerves. And what it does, it just disrupts communication from the brain to the body. It's simple as that because we thrive, we live, we talk, we breathe, we eat by something called the central nervous system, and
Hmm.
that's the brain attached to the spinal cord, and
Hmm.
it tells the body what to do. So if that doesn't work, we ain't working. No matter how fast we run, how high we jump, if the spinal cord, which is attached to the brain, isn't working, we don't work. So this impact it disrupts communication between the brain and the body, leading to symptoms like vision problems, numbness, fatigue, and difficulty walking. And this comes out of nowhere. Okay, this comes out of nowhere. Unfortunately, I work in a rehabilitation hospital, and
Hmm.
we see people from all walks of life
Hmm.
that just been hit by this thing out of the sky blue. Don't know where it came from.
So you're just going along living your life, and all of a sudden,
All of a sudden, you have a difficulty walking. Man, what's this? I'm getting blurry vision. Oh, that must be my cataracts kicking in. That I have difficulty speaking. Why is what's going on? Did I have too much to drink? Maybe I someone put something on me. Because that's within the black community. We always say, "Oh, somebody put something on me,"
Hmm.
but it just could very well be multiple sclerosis, and that's the unfortunate truth about this disease. It comes out of nowhere.
Let
So
me
there's
ask you.
different stuff.
Hold on one second,
Right.
Felix, because if it comes out of nowhere, have they developed testing to find out before it happens if you are, susceptible to multiple sclerosis, or is it just this thing that continues to come out of nowhere?
I like the DTBs, something that's detectable, treatable, and beatable. But unfortunately, I can't tell you this morning that this is a DTB. This is not. There is no single test that tests for multiple sclerosis. Okay, so how we found out about multiple sclerosis is by a number of different exams. We do a neurological test, like we test for testing reflexes, strength, and coordination. And we also do MRI scans to see if there's any lesions on the spinal cord that could be causing a delay in communication from the brain to the body. There are also spinal fluid analysis where we do a tap of the spinal fluid and test for proteins that are linked to multiple sclerosis. So there is no definitive test. There's no gold standard test. And we can test the measuring of the signal speed from the from a nerve ending. Like you can just for example, you actually want to put their right pointer finger to their brain. Someone with multiple sclerosis, you actually do that. They can't do it. They they cannot do it. Okay, because it's a delay in communication. I mean, our brain is one of the most dynamic devices ever God ever formed. But when it's have delay in communication, it's just disrupted. Now there is a like a criteria test that's done to confirm multiple sclerosis, but it's only like a test where similar to what I told you, they ask the patient to do certain things.
Hmm.
Stand on one foot. You know, turn around twice, put your finger to your nose, blink 3 times, look to the left. Look if and then patients that have multiple sclerosis, they cannot do that. It's a very debilitating disease. If you ever seen someone with it, you just lost.
You know what's interesting to me, Felix,
Mhm.
is that my hair is scattered to the four winds. I'm telling you, is that I just lost my train of thought. I just completely lost my train of thought. I haven't
Well,
slept. I have not slept because this
I,
whole Jamaica thing is making me crazy.
well,
um,
I know
uh,
when I know it is.
all right. So, what the hell? I just lost my entire train of thought. This is so weird.
Well, the last thing I was telling you is that some of the symptoms, like the vision problems, the numbness, the fatigue, the weakness, and difficulty walking, is definitely linked and associated with multiple sclerosis. And these are the things that we first see, and the patients first report prior to coming into the hospital to get checked out by the neurologist or by the pathologist.
Mhm.
And with multiple sclerosis, and unfortunately, there's no cure for it. There is no cure.
That was the question I was going to ask. Is there a cure? And it just went right out of my head. Is there a cure for it?
No
Charmaine says it resembles lupus. What is FMS and CFS?
FMS, CSS,
CFS.
cerebral. I don't know what there's so many
She
acronyms.
said it resembles lupus, FMS, CFS, so it can take years for MS diagnosis. And Chosen Me says, is MS stress induced, or is that stress can trigger different symptoms?
Well, like I said, everything's related to stress. Everything's related to stress.
Ain't that the
Stress,
truth?
and speaking of stress, and as it relates to multiple sclerosis, one of the things about multiple sclerosis as it relates to the African American community. It was once thought that MS was a white man's disease, but it's not a white man's disease. It's not a white man's disease. There are more and more African Americans getting diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and this relates to these risk factors associated with all the diseases that affect African Americans. The access to health care, the delayed response or delayed actions of going to see a healthcare professional, such as a pathologist or a neurologist. Now, I can't directly link stress to multiple sclerosis, but I'm telling you, there has to be some kind of connection because the fact that it affects us more at a more rapid capacity now than it did before. And there's not much research on multiple sclerosis as it affects African Americans because we just do not go to studies. We don't participate in studies. We don't go to the doctor to get checked out. And so, but stress brings about a lot of bad things within the human body, not only with African Americans, but with everybody,
with
because stress
everybody.
releases toxins in the body.
Hmm.
Okay, so it makes it difficult for us to respond to things or adhere to some certain things because of the toxins and the poisonous that it does to surround the cells that surround certain myelin sheaths within the
Yeah.
body.
Now, Charmaine says CFS is the chronic fatigue syndrome. You're right. There's a whole lot of monikers out here. I would have never guessed chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia syndrome. Could
Okay.
it be also environmental? The brother that was diagnosed with MS worked within the hospital system as a social worker.
Mm, mm,
You probably know him.
okay.
But he was moving along, just doing what he's doing, etc.,
Right.
etc. And then all of a sudden, bam, you
Mm,
know,
mm,
um, it is what okay, there's no cure, but what is the treatment for it? And once you figure out the symptoms of it, how do you navigate through it? And Erica says, is there anything we can do to well, Erica, we can't prevent it, I don't think, because we still don't know what brings it on. You're moving along and all of a sudden you can't walk, your vision is blurry, your words are slurred, all of that. You can't move your finger from here to your nose, like we
right.
can normally do, all those things.
Yeah. Certain motor coordinations cannot be done. Now, so let's take it one by one. So first, how is it treated? There's no cure for it, like I said, but there are disease modifying therapies. Now there is over 20 FDA approved medications that help reduce the relapses and help reduce new lesions. Okay, so there's medication that help slow down the progression of it, but there's no treatment. And there's also steroids that we can take. And steroids is a medication that reduces inflammation. And inflammation on the spinal cord is what slows down the synapses or the
Ah,
information pathways throughout the body. And there's some things called plasmapheresis,
yeah.
and this is treatment that can be done to slow down the
So
progress.
plasmapheresis, when they pull all your blood out of your body,
There you
clean it
go.
and put it right back in.
All right, somebody knows something now. Come on
All
now.
right, somebody knows
All
something.
right.
Mhm, mhm,
And rehabilitation. And like I said, I work in a rehabilitation hospital. So
mhm,
you have OT, which is occupational therapy, and they deal
mhm,
with the activities of daily living, such as
mhm,
washing your face, brushing your teeth. These
mhm,
simple things. Physical therapy can help.
mhm,
Walking, just coordination,
mhm.
cognition, endurance, and you also have speech pathology or speech therapists that help because these people they lose everything. They don't just lose this and that; they lose everything. So they have to learn how to talk again. They have to learn how to talk again. I mean, but like I said, when you see these patients, these are lawyers. These are highly functional citizens that just lose it all out of nowhere, and it's extremely debilitating.
So
Extremely
I
debilitating.
wonder. So then I'm wondering, and I mean, this is I am unscientific. Have never been to a to a medical school, but I'm wondering if high functioning jobs like engineers, doctors, that kind of stuff can cause, or social worker can cause the onset of this. Andrea says MS can show as blurry vision. Is that an early symptom that say a savvy eye doctor can notice?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, when you have any okay, just to answer the question, if you have any problem that's going on, vision, if one of your six senses isn't working, you need to go to somebody, eye
Absolutely.
doctor, whoever you need to go to, so they can get you the right person.
Mhm.
Now, if you have blurred vision, there's something that's not right. We're not supposed to have blurred vision. So yes, blurred vision is one of the earlier symptoms that we, believe it or not, we just ignore. We just ignore. Now, Erica may not
Sir,
ignore it.
sir, we are here ignoring blurred vision. If I can't see, I'm running to the eye doctor.
Well, you are. You are. Some people have that phobia, that white coat syndrome, where they will not Walking,
Jesus.
nobody, clinic, doctor, free clinic, paid clinic, nothing. So blurred vision is one of the earlier symptoms that we notice with multiple sclerosis. Also, lifestyle changes such as exercise, stress management, and mental health care is vital because, as we said earlier, stress is linked to multiple sclerosis. Now, as far as preventing, I think Erica asked about prevention. Well, high vitamin D levels. High vitamin D levels is essential when it comes to preventing. They always say an ounce of prevention is worth a
It's with a
pound of
pound of
cure.
cure.
Okay, so healthy vitamin D levels and safe exposure to sun, safe exposure, not being outside in the sun all day working, but safe exposure. If you're going to be outside in the sun, wear suntan, suntan and lotion, so on and so forth. But high vitamin D levels is associated with preventing multiple sclerosis. Also, things like avoiding smoking,
Okay.
because okay, the thing about smoking as well, smoking causes so many problems for the human body, so many problems in the body, Raynaud's syndrome, decreased perfusion in your lower extremities. It's just so bad.
So
So
Felix,
smoke,
so
yeah,
Felix, let's
I'm
let's
sorry.
talk a little bit. You're talking about smoking. Do you
Yeah.
know how many of these millennials smoke?
Yes, the
Do,
vapor,
do you do you know a
the
good
vapor,
majority? Not only vaping, they're smoking marijuana.
of course.
They smoke it all the time.
Yes,
All the
yes.
time because they're stressed. They're so stressed. They come
Hmm.
out of college. They move out of their parents' house. They can't afford to pay the rent. They can't afford to buy food. They can't afford their health insurance. And I mean, from all levels, from the highest executive all the way down, they're all smoking. What is
Yes.
that going to look like years from now?
I just wish they didn't pass these laws to legalize smoking, the consumption, and purchasing of marijuana, because it gives people the misconception that the whole process and ideology and action of smoking is safe. It's not safe. Maybe marijuana or cannabis has some kind of health benefits to it, but smoking is not a health benefit at all. Under no circumstances
Yeah.
is smoking is exchanging the lung capacity of carbon dioxide and oxygen, that exchange being interrupted by a substance going into your lungs and painting your lungs black. There's no benefit from that. There's no benefit. So like I said, smoking is one of the things that worsens the lesions, the progression and perfusion
And,
of
and
multiple.
and what are these lesions? I'm sorry, I'm asking 1,000 questions.
Lesions, now these lesions are found on the spinal cord, and a lesion is any abnormal growth on the spinal cord that delays the transmission of information throughout the body, because the brain tells the body what to do, and that spinal cord is the motor pathway that takes it down the spinal cord and tells the fingers to move, tells the nose to sniff, tells the lips to talk, tells the tongue to taste, tells the body to run. It gives you that fight or flight response. It tells you to go to the bathroom. Now, these people can't even manage their bowels and bladder. Okay, so
Really?
I mean, the central nervous system is everything.
It's
That brain
everything.
and spinal cord is everything. And if these lesions are on the spinal cord, it delays and prevent transmission information. It's almost as if our mail carrier is gone, and not even our mail carrier. Imagine if your internet is down. Imagine if you're not able. See, you have the power of information. You have the power to reach people in Timbuktu, in Afghanistan, and Bahrain through the internet,
Mm,
through podcasts, through the
mhm,
radio.
mhm.
Imagine if that information highway was down. We would
Right.
not be able to get any information that we need.
And so it is with our bodies and our brains and the spinal cord.
Yes.
Tamara says, of the three people that I personally know with MS, two
Mhm.
had high stress jobs: social worker, public defender, and the other was a college student, which is high stress. 23 years at onset. So 100% all stressful lifestyles.
Mm,
Can I
that's
share
it.
something with you? A few weeks ago, it was getting close to my mother's birthday. I
Yeah.
was on the air and I couldn't get my words out properly.
Mm,
Stressed, it just stressed. I mean, stressed.
mm,
And so much was going on, and I found myself like I'm like I kept saying to myself, "Focus, Andrea, focus, focus." You know what I did? I just did not come on the air the next day. I
Mm,
slept all day long because I knew it was a direct result of stress. And had I continued to push myself at that pace, I would have been in deep trouble. And so for 2 weeks, I would, take a day off here and take a day off there and manage myself. And once I was able to sleep and work through some of the stressful situations, I was fine again. So I believe that stress is a thing. So I tell the people here, there will come days where I'll be like, Marva's not going to be on. Sorry. I need a
yes,
stress-free day because we can
yes,
continue to push ourselves in the name of trying to help people and try to help people figure out stuff. And then it ends up causing us an issue. I'd never had that happen to me before.
yes.
Never.
Stress, stress does cloud judgment. It clouds rationale and makes things very difficult to progress. I mean, the process and mental health days is everything. I mean, our mental health. You know, it's an old saying that how can you take care of someone if you can't take care of
Hear
yourself?
yourself. Yep.
You know, and mental health can be talked about on all types of platforms over and over again and never get boring and never get bored.
Not only that, Felix, we need to not make people feel badly about taking care of themselves.
Yes,
We need to appreciate the fact that people need to be okay
yes,
emotionally and physically,
hmm,
instead of just pushing them. Well, we got to get this done and we have this deadline and that deadline.
yes,
Our podcast usually comes out in October. We're pushing the podcast at the beginning of January, just so, because my team decided it. They're like, look, you've been through a lot. We need you to just
hmm.
slow the hell down. We got this.
Hello.
They will still watch the podcast when it comes out in
Right.
January. So
Yes,
we
we
have to be
will.
able to have honest conversations with ourselves about how do we navigate in stressful situations, because
Yes,
they are aplenty. And if according to Tamara and to the other people that I'm talking to here that have MS, that stress is a huge part of that autoimmune disease.
yes,
The other one that I want you to talk about when you come back next month is
yes,
myasthenia gravis. It is a little known autoimmune disease. That's how I know about plasmapheresis.
yes.
So next month, let's get into myasthenia gravis, because we keep talking
Like
about things like diabetes and prostate cancer, but there's so many things that are impacting us that are autoimmune that
autoimmune,
no one's talking about. No
and
one's
and
talking about.
no one's talking about it, but you are talking about it, and
I
that
am.
and that what makes it important, and you know, and that's why people continue to listen to you, and that's why when I say your name, people eyes light up because they know who you are, they know what you bring to the table, and they know how you reach people that listen differently. They
Yes.
they tired of hearing about the same thing. I mean, I love Cardi B, but they tired of hearing what Cardi's doing. You know, they want to know how they can help themselves get better, and how they can identify things that's affecting themselves and their
Mhm,
family that could possibly affect their nieces and nephews and
mhm,
grandkids, like
mhm.
myasthenia gravis. You know,
Yeah.
like and multiple sclerosis. So yes, I mean these autoimmune diseases, they
Let,
hit
let
us
me
all.
let me ask you something, because
Yes,
this is important.
mhm,
I know folks who have MS that are wheelchair bound
yes.
and folks who have MS that are still running, walking. What's the difference?
Oh well. There's three. And earlier I was trying to get to this. There were three. There are three types of multiple sclerosis. There is relapsing multiple sclerosis, which is the most common. It's relapsing, remitting multiple sclerosis. It's the most common, and they have flare ups and remissions. There's also secondary progressive MS, and this one gradually worsens after initial relapses. Okay, it gradually worsens, and the third type is primary progressive MS. So this is a steady progression from the start. So I mean, there's no best kind, worst kind, right kind, but there's different types that hits the body differently, and multiple sclerosis affects everybody in different ways. Now, everybody won't experience all these symptoms. Some people have symptoms that are worse than others, and some people have all the other symptoms but missing one or two. So that's why these rehabilitation officials, like work professionals, like the occupational therapist, the physical therapist, and the speech pathologist, they all work together to figure out what symptoms, how is multiple sclerosis affecting your body, and particularly, and establish a plan. So the earlier we go get looked at, checked out, tested, if we see something going on, do not wait until Monday. Don't wait until your day off. You need to tell your boss, boss, I need to go see an occupational medication,
Mhm.
I need to go see somebody because something ain't right with me.
Mhm.
I'm having a blur of vision. I keep stumbling. I keep walking. I
Mhm.
keep tripping over myself. Something's going on.
Yeah. Um, somebody said, Tamara says, your body will rest voluntary or involuntarily. Ask me how I know. Yeah, I chose voluntary, Tamara. I was like, yeah, no, no. Love you all dearly, but I'm going to go lay down somewhere. And my
Yes,
doctors kept saying, we watch you. My one doctor said, you are here lifting weights like a check. What?
yes,
Because
you
I'm
are.
taking care of my body, right?
Yes, you
I
are.
know that if I don't do something for my body while I'm taking in all this information,
Mm-hmm.
and I was with
Mm-hmm.
my friend last week, and she said, "Your phone never stop. There
Mm-hmm.
always somebody calling with information. Always somebody trying to impart something. Always somebody." And she said, "When do you stop?"
Yes.
When I
Yes.
sit down and shut the phone down. And then people get upset because I don't respond, but I can't respond to everybody all the time, you know?
Yeah.
It is so I have to learn how to choose myself in times like this. Charmaine says your body starts attacking itself. Docs don't know why. Self-care, folks, is a must,
It's
right?
a
So
month.
start walking. Dr. Archima tells me, she said 10 minutes a day in the sun
Mm,
is she said it's the best vitamin D you can get,
mm,
right? And
mm.
as people of color, we're just like, well, we are all right, melanin, no, 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 no. We need it. And
We
we've
need.
been inside the house so much, especially since COVID. We just, we need the
You
vitamin D.
know, now, I want to say this as it relates to vitamin D, and I hate to talk about the Middle Passage or that trip that millions and millions of our ancestors took to this country during slavery. But one of the main things that affected us during that Middle Passage was lack of sunlight. That's why they had us come up on top of the boats and dance, and dance around for a while because they knew the importance of vitamin D to prevent
Mhm,
scurvy. And
mhm,
scurvy can drive the brain crazy.
mhm.
If you don't have enough sunlight, you become a Loch Ness monster. You go insane. So it all relates back to mental health. It all comes back to mental health. 90% of these diseases, rather less if it's autoimmune, progressive, if it relates back to mental health, taking
Yeah.
care of your body, taking care of yourself, walking, exercising, weightlifting can change the game. That's why most people that exercise on a daily basis, they're happier, they look great, they
Ah,
feel great, and they affect people around them. They have a ray of an aura or a glow around them. They're
mhm.
radiating because of exercising. It's a disease's worst enemy. When you exercise, it's a disease's worst enemy because they don't like that.
Yeah, yeah. Tamara Brooks says, myasthenia gravis. I just started seeing commercials for meds for this. I am looking forward to learning more. We'll talk
That's
about that next month because poor Felix, the goal was not to have him on here for 500 hours. So, and Leroy Burgess says, is MS a mucus buildup in the brain? Is myasthenia gravis a mucus buildup in the brain?
no.
It impacts the brain's central nervous system too. You can't tie your shoelaces, you get really weak, different things like that. And there's certain foods you can eat to to slow down myasthenia gravis, right?
Well,
And
I
they
want
ask you to stay away from stress.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a mucus buildup. It's those lesions. It's the lesions built up on the spinal cord. It's not mucus, brother. It's not mucus because mucus is more of a. When you talk about mucus, you're talking about fluid in the brain. It's talking about intracranial pressure. Intracranial pressure is deadly. It can make you confused. It can make you forget things. It can make you fall, stumble, give you these migraine headaches that's unexplained. So, and that
And
comes
that's
from
called what?
intracranial pressure.
Jesus.
ICP. They call it ICP, which is intracranial pressure,
When you
and
come
that's
on, I write a lot. Intracranial pressure. Okay.
yes, intracranial pressure. And sometimes intracranial pressure can come from a plethora of things, but maybe a fall. If maybe you and your grandkids were playing around, or you and your niece and nephew was playing around, and you fell and hit your head, and you didn't think it was nothing of it. But you start getting real slow, real drowsy. These headaches keep on coming, keep on happening. That's because you have a hematoma within. A hematoma is bleeding underneath your skin. You have a hematoma in your skull that's applying more and more pressure, which making it is called decreased perfusion. It makes it really hard for your brain to breathe and get oxygen. If it can't get oxygen, it doesn't work. Our body needs oxygen. We need to exchange oxygen with carbon dioxide with nitrogen. We need that. If we don't get that, we perish. This
Mm,
earth, this earth is full with these things, these chemical substances that allows us to breathe. And if your body's not getting it, we're going to perish. So that was a good question by that brother when you're talking about fluid within the brain, but it's not fluid with multiple sclerosis. It's actually lesions.
lesions.
It's
So it's
lesions
not
that is
fluid, it's lesions
lesions.
on the spinal column.
Yes, it's lesion. It's so again. Just a quick recap. Multiple sclerosis is when the myelin sheath, and this the myelin sheath is the wrapping or the covering. It's the protective covering around the nerves. Our nerves carry information throughout our bodies. That information starts with our information system, the brain, which comes down the spinal cord. The spinal cord and the brain together is the central nervous system. When you have lesions on it, it delays and slows the progress of that transformation information happening. So it's disruptive communication between the brain and the body. That's what it is. It's disruptive communication between the brain and body. My phone was singing, but yes. So that
Leroy says thanks for the information.
oh yes, you
Um,
welcome.
and Kent July, I just saw a message from Kent July. He said something that this is good information. Jesus, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a
Yes,
lot, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful to all of you because see, I'm giving the information. I cannot on this platform. We just cannot keep talking about the same foolishness. Notice I don't talk about anything to do with music, movies, or anything like that. I don't give a ratatouille. Our lives are at risk here, and so we have to literally talk about the things that matter for
uh,
us that
yes,
matter for us. And then there's a level of vulnerability that we display on Mornings with Marvel so that folks can see that, we are going through things too. This is not just you all out here. This stuff is
yeah.
impacting everybody, right?
Everybody,
Everybody.
everybody.
Oh, my brother. Oh, I know my father-in-law about to call me because he watches like somewhere around middle of the day. I know I'm about to get another call about you, but that's all right. I'm
Thank you
grateful.
for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm grateful for the opportunity to pass on information that's saving lives. And if
Yes.
someone is listening, if I get one person to tell one other person what's about this topic, about anything that they learned today, then we're doing our job. We're doing
Yes.
our job as human beings. We're doing our jobs from the religious standpoint because as a nurse, I do believe, and I always believe that it's God's work. It's,
Yes.
it's God's work. And the
Yes.
good deeds as quote by Muhammad Ali, the good deeds we do on earth is the rent we pay for our room in heaven.
Absolutely. And the fact that it passes on through the generations, we tend to forget that our generational divide here, if we do horrible things 2 generations ago, and then our grandchildren, our great grandchildren are feeling this thing, and you wonder, why I have so much bad luck?
Mm,
Somebody in your DNA screwed up. And they were terrible to people. That stuff comes back. Look at the Kennedys. If you want an example of how they all just started dying, you got to be really, really careful. Charmaine says the MS is like an electrical cord wrapping that gets stripped.
yes, there
Yeah,
you go.
that gets stripped.
There you
Erica says, thank you so much for this. I have a friend who had lesions on her, still has them, on her spinal cord and in her brain. They say she don't have MS, but they can't figure out what's wrong with her.
Well, like I told you, there's no cure. There is no definitive test. There is no rationale. There's no explanation. So if a neurologist or pathologist says that, she need to get her money back. I mean, or you know, or get a second or third opinion.
Second or third opinion, yes,
And
yes,
something
yes,
that we need
yes.
to do also when one person tells us no, we need to use this internet, do research, and get someone to tell us yes.
Felix, I'm going through that right now. Somebody was like, well, maybe you shouldn't. I was like, excuse me, back up. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to get another opinion, right? Because it's like, well, there's not really anything wrong. And you could just stay at this level. I was like, no, this is my body. I know my body.
Come on
I'm
now,
going to work this thing out. And
come
so
on.
I went on ahead and went on over the pen. I was like, yeah, stop playing with me. I might
Shout out
look
to
healthy and feel healthy now, but prevention, an ounce of prevention
the
is
worth of
better
pound.
than a pound of cure.
Hello,
So yeah,
hello.
it is. It's a lot. And as we age, I mean, I'm almost at 60 now, and
Mm, God
I think the reason why I'm able to continue to do what I'm doing is
come
because I
on now.
take good care of my body, right?
Come on.
This exercising thing is not about vanity, it's about saving my life. I have a
Yeah.
family history of diabetes,
Mm,
hypertension, all the things, hysterectomies, like, and knowing what I know, I'm really proactive about how do I navigate through these things. When a heart doctor, a cardiologist told me that I
mm,
wouldn't live to see 45
mm,
because my blood
mm,
pressure was so high and it had been sustained so high for so long. And I
mm.
asked him, what could I do? And he said, start lifting weights.
There you go. There you go.
Within a year, the thickening wall muscles dissipated. He actually cried. He said, because you
Mm.
listened to what I had to tell you. So
Wow.
lifting weights is not a vanity thing for me. It's about really taking care of myself and moving, keeping myself moving and choosing what I put in my body. Right?
I love
Been
that.
diabetic since 2019, have been on no medications, managing
Mm,
it with diet and exercise. So
mm.
I'm trying to be, I'm trying to show people what is necessary. Is it challenging at times? Absolutely. But can we do it? Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Of course.
I'm trying to
Wow.
hold on to my kidneys for as long as I can. How about that?
Hello. I like what you just said. Real quick. I like what you said. You said exercise for you is not for vanity.
Mm-mm.
It's for survival.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. I
And
love
has
that.
been for decades.
Yeah,
So
and
my brother,
they don't understand that, Jared. They don't and so I'm glad you said that. So so they can hear you say,
mhm.
I'm not trying to get a size zero
Oh
or
hell no. I'm just trying to stay alive. I am literally trying to keep my organs moving and staying good for as long as it can. A size zero. I watch people say, I lost 45 pounds and I'm down to a size this. It has never been about that for me.
Mhm,
Because you can lose the weight and still be unhealthy as hell because you're not exercising. You're not doing all the things you're supposed to do to stay good. And then you're putting chemicals in your body to bring
mm.
down the weight, but then you're not doing the things you can to sustain to keep the weight off to stay healthy, right? So it's
Wow,
never been about vanity for me.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, sister. Thank you so much.
I love my
Thank you.
brother. I love you. You are
I love you
always,
too.
it's always a pleasure. Tell my
Always.
people I said hello. And
Yeah,
next
they
month,
always ask
remember,
about you.
huh?
I said they always ask about you.
Yeah. Tell them I said
Yeah,
hello. I
yeah.
love them. And make sure for next month we're gonna tackle myasthenia gravis, MG.
My team
Okay.
drivers. I got
On behalf of all the brothers and the sisters out here and everybody else that listens to us, thank you, Felix. I appreciate you.
thank you. Thank you. And God bless Jamaica. I'm
Oh,
praying for
child.
everyone.
Yes, sir. We'll talk
All
soon,
right,
okay?
sister.
All
All
right.
right.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Leroy says lion's mane, turmeric are some herbs, ashwagandha, ginkgo, anti-inflammatory. Not to treat a cure. Anybody, please consult your doctor. I agree, my brother, because there's so many things floating around here. Take this, take that. You need to go get the necessary blood work to know what you're missing from your body, and then you move forward from there. Don't just take it because somebody says to take it and this is what's happening and that's what's happening. And once you know your body well enough, you can feel when something is off. You can say, I shouldn't eat that because that doesn't feel right after I eat it, kind of thing. And just be really thoughtful. I had a gym instructor one time say to me, buy nothing on the outer walls of the market, go on the inside shelves and get the things, read the ingredients, make sure there are no more than three ingredients in the thing. There's so much within them for preservatives that's really harming us, etc., etc. Sunday, I turned on my stove and I made a pot of liver. Erica's about to flip out. I made a pot of liver and onions and some dumplings, and sat with my husband and we had breakfast and we had plantains. And he said, "Where's the callaloo?" Because he said, "You always eat something green." And we sat down and just making a meal from scratch and sitting next to him and eating breakfast was so therapeutic to my soul. I said to myself, I need to do this more often. We hosted Sunday dinners before COVID happened, and we're kind of navigating. Once a week, I grab Denise and we get in the car and we drive. And she knows that my driving is therapeutic. Find the things that are therapeutic for you. You don't have to drive 100 miles away, but drive to do something that'll make you feel better about yourself. Stretch your muscles. Go stand up outside in the sun. The jeans that I'm now doing a whole jean painting party. One day I was having such a stressful day, I stopped at the the paint store, grabbed some fabric paints, tore my jeans. I know my neighbor was looking at me going, what the hell is she doing in the driveway? And I just started splashing paint all over. Then I hung it up on the fence. And that's how those jeans came out the way they did. Do things that won't cost you a lot of money. But I was also in the sun for a good 20 minutes doing this and got something good out of it, right? All of this is important to our bodies and our health. Don't worry about, being seen and heard and all those other things. If you don't take care of yourself, you will see the results of that. I have folks now on my timeline on social media that are fighting cancer and all sorts of other things because we don't speak to the things that are happening to us, the stress levels. Manage your stress levels, y'all. Manage your stress levels. From November of last year until about September, I was, and then one day I woke up and I said, no, what the hell? People are either going to do what they're going to do or not. You gave them the information, they got the information, or they don't use it. That's totally up to them. And then I just stop cold turkey, right? I give you the news, I give you the information, I bring the kind of guests on that you may or may not want to see. I don't know, but I follow what you asked me for, and that's how it's going. My producer reached out to every one of the people that are running for the second congressional district for Congress. Two people responded, and so we're going to have them on and interview them. I am the schedule is getting really packed, so we're going to just start adding an extra half an hour to the show. So we'll go from 6:30 to 8, depending on what's going on. And so we'll go from there. Monica says, keep moving this body, be preventative. It's true. And you don't have to do a whole lot of anything. Just move your body. If it's just walking and swinging your arms, if it's going up and down your steps 15 times, count how many times you're going up and down the steps. If it's doing a bunch of sit-ups, and just move your body. All of that will make a difference. Charmaine says, I just went to the free salsa class at FDR and had a ball. Never made salsa before Saturday. Never had Saturday. Good. Very, very good. Very good. Very proud of you, Charmaine. Very proud of all of you. Monica, I know you're working yourself out too. We're all trying to do the best that we can with what we have. But I'm telling you, it's not about paying to go into a gym. For me, I need it. And because I like being around, people and being pushed to do what I needed to do. I'll see some of you on November 15th for the jeans painting, the denim painting class. I'll see some of you at Mr. Man's jam session coming up. I'll see some of you, I'm trying to find the joy that doesn't cost a whole lot of money, right? These are $40 tickets or $25 tickets or free. I'll see some of you on November 7th for Sarita Scott's Duafe's clay making class with the perfume and the 4-course meal, that you'll have, and there'll be a DJ. Those are the things. And she caps these things at about 20 people. So there's not going to be a whole crowd of folks hanging out. We're just all going to sit and decompress and breathe and stick our hands in clay or make some perfume, whatever it is that you want to do. But we're in community. Being in community helps our bodies and our brains. Multiple sclerosis is not a joke. You heard Felix say that this is something that just, happens all of a sudden, but it really is. It really is high stress. It really is. So Charmaine said, be quiet about those G's. Did you get into the class, Charmaine? We're going to do another class. And oh, by the way, my father will be here sometime in November. So, child, just pray my strength in the Lord. Monica says, I'm moving in order to come off this blood pressure medicine. Love you all so much. This episode of Mornings with Mother, I was supposed to have Cardine on, but she has a meeting. For this after wait for the after party. Let's see. Okay, she just sent it to me. Well then tell Michelle, hurry up. Somebody, Michelle Neal is going to join me to talk about Jamaica as we speak. You see my hair just scattered to the four winds. I was pulling and tugging, so I took the coils out and my hair is down to my back. You see how black hair just kind of coils up? And so as it opens up, Who's saying what's the 411 for the clay class? Go look on my page, please. You have to go down because I've been talking about Jamaica. You'll see a thing with somebody with their hands in clay. I think she may only have like 1 or 2 spaces left. So if that's what you want to do, go and join it. Leroy says, yes, mother, the sun is a friend. Not looking forward to the winter. Need the sun. Absolutely. Which is why we get so depressed. Well, not all of us, but some of us get, sad when winter comes around. We need the sun. Um, uh, Jasenia says she'll join the second gene making class. Now I got teased. I think Andrea Robin Manning was one of them. She was like, now you're going to put up a class with 10 people when 105 people are going to want to come. I'm sorry, Andrea. I couldn't have everybody in my driveway. That was the studio that was offered. She was reasonable. I figured you guys would pay $25 and she can only take 10 people max. First 10 people, you know me, I make it fair, right? Don't just give it to certain people. So yeah, there we are. I'm gonna probably just get off the air because I don't see Michelle Neal. If she doesn't get on in another 5 minutes or so, I'm getting off because this is the after party segment. For those of you who are wondering why I'm still on, I usually have like a little after party on what is it? Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? We continue the show so we can talk about some things. For those of you who are still on here with me, and there's a good amount of you, what do you do when Chandria says every time? I'm telling you, I'm sorry, girl. Marva's sorry. Marva's sorry. My team says this to me all the time. Why do you insist that you do these things and then all these people show up and then you're shocked? Because I'm minding my business. I'm minding my business. Alexandra says moving to get the blood pressure normal, reading 130/8, and this weight off and muscle mass back. And that's all going to take time, Alexandra. It's all going to take time. What a lot of people don't recognize is that you need your muscle mass. It's not enough to just drop a bunch of weight. Without that muscle holding you up, you're in trouble. And as we age, our muscles, it took me a year to rebuild the muscle that I would rebuild in about 3-4 months because I'm almost 60. So my muscle was like, who are you talking to? And we're not doing this. I'm like, what is happening here? So just take your time, continue to build. Now I have a shoulder, a trap, and my chest. All of that is coming together. But I'm going into 2 years of working out with Audra. It never took me that long. So as we lose our estrogen, we lose our muscle mass, and that's a problem because our heart needs to be protected, right? And so we lift. You don't have to lift like I lift because I'm strong as hell. Like I was flipping a 75-pound tire and lifting 115 pounds. And you saw how I was standing up with that. It was very easy for me to lift. I didn't say anything to Audra, but it was very easy for me to lift because I can deadlift 225 pounds. So I leave her alone and let her think, she breaking my back. But just lift something, anything, right? You start with the 5-pound weights and then you go up to 10 and then you go up to 15 as you feel comfortable. And then you go up to 20, right? I have kettlebells here that I lift, I sit up with 20-pound kettlebells in each hand and do a full sit up. So that means my stomach is like, whoa. But just do something, anything to keep yourselves in a space where you will not lose your mind. Okay. Let's see. These oh Jesus, this is too much. So people are calling me about Jamaica. Thank you all. I see what you are. I see that you're reaching out to me. It's okay. Tomorrow morning I have a lawyer on to talk about wills and probates and what to do to save your family home. We've been having this conversation a lot and we stopped. And now, as folks are aging and passing away, what do we do with what we have? So there's that. Oh, that got some good lineup. My producers killing the game. This is awesome. So we're going to be okay. We're absolutely going to be okay. Continue to pray for Jamaica. We're here. We're trying to figure this thing out. I love you all. This episode of Mornings with Marva is officially over. I am Andrea Lawful Sanders. I'll see you when I see you. Pray for Jamaica. Bye-bye.